And a good Sunday afternoon, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City, Subaru, 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Main precipitation, sort of the leftovers of a soaker, will sort of redevelop and reestablish itself really across southern parts of Vermont. Well, we've seen some fairly widespread 1 to 2.5 inches of total rainfall. Most of this has been up in the upper elevations, but also in parts of central and sort of north-central Vermont. The areas that were missed, once again, is right along the U.S.-Canadian border and within about 25 miles a little bit south into the state. Looking at generally cooler temperatures as well across the region, showing temperatures basically in the 70s. And then the rain-cooled air across Vermont and northern parts of New England basically in the 60s for today. That's going to warm up, actually by the time we hit Tuesday, we'll start to pull up a little bit more warmth, and higher dew point temperatures and humidity will push right back into the region once we get into Tuesday. And some potential partial sunshine will kind of help that along, and temperatures will probably hit the lower 80s. Dew point temperatures are relatively moist. However, a little bit of a drop-off, and you can see here in southeastern portions of Ontario, and some of that will have worked in following the weather system that'll be pulling and pushing out over toward Maine and eventually pulling away. We're going to see a little bit of a regeneration across, it looks like, areas of the southern parts of Vermont, mostly the southern counties around Bennington and Windham, where there is a potential for a little bit of thunderstorm activity, and again, some heavier rainfall induced. You can see higher amounts, and we'll take a look at that a little bit later on. Looking at the incremental modeling here, we have that precipitation maker that moved in during the night last night, and is continuing to produce showers through the morning hours, and now that is beginning to wane as that impulse begins to track off to the north and east, as you can see here. And also in the southern part of Vermont, we start to see a little bit more of a regeneration there, as you can see that right there, and slightly heavier in the mostly western and southern areas, mostly around Bennington County, and that's valid during the overnight period, Sunday night into early Monday morning. Eventually, that falls apart, and we get into lighter precipitation, mainly just some scattered showers on Monday and into Monday evening, so not as much precipitation then. Now, up in the northern tier regions, we'll be watching this frontal system that's going to be sagging southward, and we do have not a dry day, but close to a dry day before that frontal system begins to work on in. It's going to be a relatively late part of the day before it gets in here. This is valid at about 5 o'clock. And the bulk of the precipitation is happening and just reaching the northern part of Vermont with that frontal system, as it tracks further into Vermont, it'll trigger some shower and thunderstorm activity, mostly into the evening hours. These will probably be in a weakening fashion, and this is valid through in the morning hours on Wednesday, where there'll be some lingering showers. We eventually get into an area of higher pressure. A little bit of ridging is going to start to ridge in. This is enough to give us a dry day on Thursday. It looks like the only dry project weather day of this week. And then we have on Thursday night this weather system, almost like an Alberta Clipper, a pretty fast-moving, synoptically driven, jet stream-driven kind of system that's going to be pushing in, it looks like, for Thursday night. And there could be some thunderstorms in the mix here, and another streak of rain potentially, but nothing that's going to be super heavy, but something we'll keep a close eye on. But now we have antecedent conditions that are a little bit wetter. But that moves through, it looks like, on Thursday night and into the morning hours on Friday, some lingering showers on Friday, and then eventually we might actually eke out a dry weekend. This is valid at about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. You can see just a little bit of sprinkles perhaps in the morning hours, but I think this might actually turn out to be a dry day for Saturday. And then following that, this is just beyond the period. It looks like we'll see another dry day on Sunday before this weather system begins to make a run and kind of clip the southern parts of the state. These weather systems now are going to be moving in from northwest to southeast. Very much a spring-like pattern, what we've seen for much of the first half of the summer. And that usually means drier weather up in the northern tier regions, wettest in southern parts of Vermont. This is the GFS ensemble. You can see the hourly QPF here. The 3-hourly QPF is the main event, is already moved on through, and we're looking at much lighter amounts from here on out. The total QPF looks like this, And it's one that's pretty healthy amounts here. You can see how incrementally we get up. By the time we get into the middle part or the end of the week, we're looking at probably past that precipitation that works in on Thursday night and into the day on Friday. We're talking about 2-inch amounts by the GFS. And this is well represented, as you can see here, with the 168-hour 1 through 7 QPF totals by the Weather Prediction Center. And what you can see, these blue lines here are about 1-inch amounts. Temperature-wise, we've seen a cool-off, and we're going to remain cool. It's mostly rain-cooled air today. The very rainy condition that we have on this Sunday, those temperatures are going to warm up, but the overall trends are we're going to see just 1 day of peak temperatures, and that's out ahead of this frontal boundary, which is around here, and this warmth out ahead of it is going to shoot on into northern parts of New England. That's going to be the case not so much on Monday, but definitely on Tuesday, as we probably remain rather cool on Monday. The GFS ensemble temperature here, the European's a little bit of a disagreement here. I think I'm going with the European, where temperatures are going to be held basically in the low 70s. And we do make a run where temperatures are going to be closer to around 80 degrees. And then from there, a pretty good fall off. And we stay more or less into that sort of 70, 75 kind of realm for most of the state before temperatures eventually do warm on up. Now, overlaying the dew point temperatures, they look like this. And our highest dew point temperatures kind of already were in the area, but then kind of being whisked out. But it does look like that's going to happen Tuesday, probably afternoon, Tuesday night, just about as that cold front pushes on through. And then you're going to see a drop off in the dew point temperatures more or less below 55 degrees. And that's both illustrated by the European model and the GFS ensemble. Quick look at the MOS guidance here. We're going to be running a little bit below normal by about 3 to 6 degrees, and that is the case certainly today. And carrying that a little bit further along, not a lot of change. So unfortunately, during the height of midsummer weather, climatologically, we're not going to see that. No tropical weather expected, and same kind of thing over the next 5 days. And we might see something try to emerge roughly off sort of north of Bermuda and then working its way out to sea. So no real threats for the eastern seaboard. If that does happen, that would be well out. We're talking probably next weekend and into the early part of next week. Looking at rainfall, this is Addison County, and you can see that Addison County is a good representative of how much rain we've trying to make some catch-up rainfall here. This is over the last 30 days, and this is month to date so far. So we're making some inroads here. Now, the same thing with Bennington County. You get over to Caledonia County, just barely 100%, so made some efforts here, but still below or generally below normal. Again, this is the most recent. Showing you as an example here, month to date, about 100%. Again, this is for Caledonia County, and the last 30 days, a little bit below normal. Looking at Chittenden County, we're around 100%. In Essex County, the far northeast kingdom, the further north you go, you can see the dry pattern. We really haven't made up on rainfall. Same kind of thing over in Franklin County. We get into Grand Isle County, a little bit above normal. That particular northwest corner of the state has received a little bit of extra rainfall most recently. Lamoille County, you can see that it's all below normal. Now you get down a little bit further to the south into Orange County. They have seen some inroads with some heavier rainfall. Over toward Orleans County, one of the driest counties now up in the northern tier region. Probably the first 25 miles south of the Canadian border is where the driest conditions exist right now, where we're probably still in moderate drought. Over in Rutland County, we have definitely made some inroads. You're seeing that here. And then looking at Washington County, we have made some inroads as well. So Washington County over to Orange County and Point South have been generally the wetter areas. Also shown here, look at Windham County, well above normal. Windham County, they are the wettest county by far. And then looking at Windsor County, one step north, not bad as well. Driest areas, northern tier regions. And a quick look at Vermont, and we've seen where the existing rainfall is, and this is again pushing away very gradually. This is going to start to spin up another batch of rain in the southern counties. That's going to happen as we get into the late part of the day and mostly tonight. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.